There it goes.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It's a reorganization meeting of July 9th, 2020. It is now 6 o'clock. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Bill will have that up since the flag's right in behind him. So I'll stand.
Actually, Chris is going to present his screen.
Oh, okay. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America.
America,
To the republic
and to the republic for which it stands.
one
One
nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And I'm going at this time to swear in our new board member, which would be Travis Ames. Congratulations, Travis. If you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of board member
the duties of the office of board member
of the Board of Education
of the Board of Education
of Hamilton Central School
at Hamilton Central School
according to, or to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Okay, perfect. And you'll sign that document and you'll get it into me.
I will do.
Okay?
Thank you.
Now we're going to start with the new business, and we're going to do the election of a board president. Does anybody want to recommend anybody?
I would nominate Michelle.
Anybody? Okay. So Ellen and Jen. And now the vice president. Would anybody recommend the president?
I move to nominate Ellen.
I'll second that.
Okay. Now, if I could have Michelle and Ellen repeat after me, and you can just replace the word depending on your title, okay?
Do we need to vote on that?
Yeah.
We're not even going to discuss it? Because we haven't discussed it.
We haven't discussed it.
So, yes.
This is not a secret plan.
May I have a motion?
We moved and seconded, but we haven't discussed or voted.
Okay, so, oh yeah, that's right, we did, sorry. So, any discussion?
Are you both willing?
I am willing, yes.
Yeah, and I am willing, and I actually did talk with Michelle a little bit, understanding that there are going to be times this year where I may need support, and I may need to tag off or ask for help, but I am willing.
Perfect. All those in favor?
I was going to say, any other discussion? Are you guys good with that?
Is there anybody else who's interested? Because if somebody else is really interested, then
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. As long as you guys are good, then we feel good about it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I for vice president.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
vote for president.
and vice versa.
Right. Got it. So now if you both raise your right hand and repeat after me. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the
that I
Constitution
support
of the
the
United
Constitution of the
States
United States
of America
of America
of America
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the
and the
Constitution
of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
President, Vice President
Vice President
of the Board of Education of Hamilton Central School
of the Board of
of the Board of
Education
at Hamilton Central School
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Okay, if you could both sign those documents and email them in to me tomorrow, that would be great. And at this time, Michelle is going to take over the rest of the agenda.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody. That brings us to the consent agenda. It takes us from 2.4 to 2.15. Can I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll move.
I'll second.
A second.
Any discussion for the consent agenda?
Sorry, can you tell me the numbers again? Did you say 2.45?
2.4 through 2.15.
Actually, can we change that and go through, let's
Through
see.
more of that?
Yeah, let's go all the way through until we have to change it to 2.36 so you can discuss the board member or board dates.
So 2.35 or
Yeah.
36 included?
No, 3.5 so you can discuss 3.6.
All right, can I have an amended motion to move the consent agenda from 2.4 to 2.35?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, now any discussion in any of those?
We had, sorry, this is just a question I forgot to ask Bill earlier today. We had changed the substitute pay last year, I believe, or maybe it was the year before.
Yeah.
Does that seem to be effective for us at this, staying at this rate?
I think there's just a lack of subs across the board regionally. I think our pay is competitive.
Okay.
So I think we need to stay where we are.
Okay.
We also have 2.25, the title non-compliance officer. It says on the agenda online, Mark Arquette, Heather Thomas, and or Matt Crum. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody saw that because that was changed recently. Anything else in those? Lots of items, so I'm giving everybody just a little bit of time.
We're going to 2.35, right?
Yep, through 2.35. Okay.
Can I actually, sorry.
No.
I just thought of something. Will there be any expectation of needing to change code of conduct if we're back in school and expectations for behaviors and things like that? Does that sort of automatically fall under other expected behaviors, or would we need to addend it, or is that?
I think we'll have to addend it. There's going to be changes to the code of conduct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. It just hit me right then.
No. Good question. So right now, when we vote, we will approve it as is, and if there's changes, we'll.
There was one cell phone added this year, is that right?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
And not all of those people listed elect to take one. So that's the list of, if they want them, we will provide, but it's not the case.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, all those in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I need a motion to approve the following school board meeting dates for the 2020-2021 school year. Debbie, if I'm correct, these are still Thursdays, correct? I'm asking before we move. Sorry.
Yes, all except for the ones that you see, like the BOCES date, that's mandatory. We have to have it that date in the budget vote. Those are Tuesdays, I believe.
So a motion, please. Sorry.
I'll move.
Second.
Right now, it states in there that the meetings will start at 6 p.m. Travis has
Yeah,
asked.
do you guys mind? I'm sorry, Michelle, go ahead.
New York. Travis had asked me when he and I met this week or so ago if you guys.
She froze.
Am I there again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, would anybody mind the 6 to start at 6:30?
Yeah, Michelle, you froze there for a while, but with my work schedule, if you guys don't mind, 6:30 would be far more ideal than 6. I would really appreciate it.
Works for me.
Fine for me.
Yeah, it's fine for me.
Thank you.
So, with that change, Debbie, do we have to amend that motion?
You're fine.
Okay.
Just don't expect me to show up early just because it's half hour later. I'm still gonna push the limit.
That sounds good. Noted.
As long as you meet Kevin, you're okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next, we're on to 2.37. I need a motion to authorize the clerk to submit and clarify its nomination of the name of Stephanie Fidel for a term expiring next June of the Hamilton Central School District to serve as a member of the Madison Oneida Board of Cooperative Educational Services of the sole supervisory district of Madison and Oneida counties for the seat currently held by herself. So Stephanie's willing to do that again. Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion there?
That was just my question, so
Thank
she's willing
you.
to do it again. She's interested in doing it again.
Debbie, you talked to her?
Debbie's muted.
Wait, no, I did not talk to her. I talked to Kathy Quinn, and that's when her appointment is.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Where'd it go?
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to appoint a Board of Education representative to the Elementary Steering Committee and another to the Secondary Steering Committee. So we need to nominate some people, and then we can do the motion, correct, Debbie? We do the nomination first?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can't discuss who wants to do it first. We have to nominate someone.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to do this discussion afterward, so.
So I'm going to nominate Jen for elementary and Corey for secondary.
All right. Can I have a motion to appoint Jen as elementary and Corey for secondary, and then we will discuss from there.
I'll move.
I'll second. I guess I moved it first, so yeah. I'll second.
So let's have discussion, and then we can change that if we need to, now that we can discuss. Corey, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's what I've done the last 2 years. Very happy to continue.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm happy to continue as well. I won't have a student at the elementary level anymore. I don't know if that makes a difference to anybody, or if, Corey, you would want to switch or any of that. It doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to be able to note that.
Is it a place that Travis might be able to jump in? Again, I don't know about the schedule of the meetings sometimes.
Well, I've been on it for like 5 years
okay.
now, so I mean,
Okay,
I'm
never
fine
mind.
if you guys want to, but you know.
Okay. It's not something you feel like you need to do or should do.
No, and it might work out better for other people because in the past when I've been on it, I can't typically get there when it's ideal for most other people. So
Okay. Good. Perfect then.
Kevin, what is your thought about having Jen versus me? And I'm saying me, throwing my name in the hat for the fact that I have the elementary children.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have either one of you.
So it doesn't matter to you over.
No, it's fine. Jen knows the elementary and probably can speak on behalf because she's been through it. But if you're up to the challenge, Michelle, you would have a student. So I'm fine either way.
Okay. I'm good either way too, Jen. So if you're good staying on, I'll let you run with it.
And I'm going to interject.
I'll stay on. And what was that, Ellen? Sorry.
No, I'm going to interject and ask a question because we're all learning new roles, and I'm going to ask whether that question should have gone to Heather instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if Heather knew the answer, if it was better to have that person on, and that's why I asked Kevin. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure that my brain's in the right place.
And I didn't know the answer, so thank you for.
Thank
You'll
you.
know it next year at this time, though.
I will.
Okay, so can we vote? All those in favor of Jen, elementary, and Corey, secondary steering committees?
Aye.
Aye.
I
I guess I say aye for Jen.
And I said, Corey.
Opposed? All right, there we go. So, oops, sorry. Now we have the Emerald Foundation representative. We need a motion for that. And obviously we have to motion before we discuss. Anybody? I can't nominate myself, but there you go. Somebody.
I would nominate Michelle.
Motion. Yeah.
Well done.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Obviously, you're interested.
I'm happy to do it, and I probably should be more involved in that since I'm an alum anyways, so that will make Andrew Coddington very happy. He's in there, so I will be happy to take that. All those in favor of me it's just weird to say, on the Emerald Foundation, sorry.
Aye.
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 And I'm abstaining because it's me. So it passes. I need a motion to appoint Harry Jarko and 1 to 2 other people, and Bill Dowslin, the superintendent of schools, to the policy subcommittee.
I'd like to appoint Ellen, at least for that. And possibly Corey, if you're interested.
I wouldn't say no.
So I'm going to say that I can do one of two things, either policy or the governance manual, but I cannot take on both of those at this point. So wherever you feel that I am more useful, then I am happy to do whichever. So
then I'm gonna go and say that I'd like to nominate, and I don't know how this is working because we haven't motioned yet, but Corey and Travis on that, and save Ellen for the other since you said that. So can I have a motion?
I'll move. Okay, now we can discuss again.
Okay. Are we okay with that? Everybody?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'd love to be on it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All of those in favor of Harry, Travis, and Corey joining Bill on this policy subcommittee.
And can I so it's okay to have Harry, I mean, I don't object, but it's okay to have Harry there as a random sort of addition to the policy subcommittee? Okay. Excellent.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Co-representatives to the School Boards Institute. We need nominations. So I'll nominate. How's this? Well, I'll throw this out there. Since Jen and I did such a bang-up job this past year, we didn't go to any meetings because they all got moved.
They all got canceled.
I nominate Jen and I to be the representatives for the School Boards Institute.
I'll second that.
Can I have a motion for that?
Oh, I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay. Here's hoping that Jen and I can actually attend a meeting or two each this coming year to help you guys do that. So, all those in favor of Jen and I doing the School Boards Institute? Sorry, Jen, for throwing you in there, but.
No, I was thinking the same thing. That's why I was being quiet, hoping somebody would make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are we at aye? Yeah.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Can I have a motion to appoint Ellen as the Board of Education representative for the Governance Manual Committee?
I'll second. Or I'll motion.
Okay.
I'll
And
second.
I'll second.
Perfect. Any discussion there?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been an incredible document, so thank you.
I'm actually curious, Travis, coming on. Have you had a chance to look at it or not yet?
A little bit.
I was gonna say, I think I shared it with you.
I just want to make sure it's actually useful. So, but we'll keep working on it. Perfect.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. A Communities Events Committee. I need a motion to appoint Corey as the board representative. I don't know. I'm just picking somebody so we can do a motion and we can discuss.
I'll move.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Corey, I totally threw you out there. If you don't want this, that's fine. Then we can discuss who wants it from there. But
I don't know what this committee does or how often they meet or who's done it in the past.
So this is new. We added this last year after we built goals. And part of the goals was to be involved in events with the school and the community. Like we had talked about being involved with Kevin in planning in those special ed presentations and those sorts of things for the spring. And so we had talked about at that point actually assigning somebody to be sort of looking out for, not necessarily, not solely planning or anything like that, but just looking out for keeping this on our, as a board's agenda.
So this is a committee of one, just
yes.
trying to, yeah. Yeah.
Keep us in line with one of our goals is really, it was a way to assign somebody to be.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that unless there's anybody else really itching to do that.
great. I'll let you take it, man. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. That takes us to the end of our reorganization meeting. I need a motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting.
I'll move.
I'll move. I'll second.
Second.
And I'm just going to say, Debbie, thank you for remembering to add those two things at the end like we asked you to.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, that brings us to our regular meeting. So I will, at 6:24 p.m., call the meeting of July 9th, 2020 to order. We do not have to do the pledge because we've already done that this evening. Are there any additions to consider for the agenda? I have two. I'm jumping in with that, but does anybody else have anything? I would like to add a super eval discussion. I don't really have a place. I didn't look ahead to see where I should put that, but maybe we'll make it 7.3.
Okay.
And then I need to add an executive session regarding matters regarding particular individual. We'll do that. Anybody else have any agenda items to add?
Michelle, I just wanted to, that was already on the executive session.
Okay.
It's on the agenda and board docs, so it's all set.
Okay, perfect.
All good, Michelle.
Sorry. Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Debbie, can I ask a question? Is it okay if I don't say opposed if I know everybody's voted?
Yes.
Or should I still say it?
Everybody voted yay for that, then you don't have to do opposed because
It's
nobody
okay.
else is left.
Okay.
If we oppose, you'll know.
Right.
Okay, good. All right, just making sure. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the June 11th regular meeting and the special meeting of June 22nd.
I'll move.
I'll move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? I jumped on that one. No, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, the consent agenda will take us through 3.7. So 3.1 through 3.7. Can I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Move.
I'll second.
Discussion? We're discussing treasurer's report, financial report, consideration of claims, transportation report, cafeteria report, bus bond, bus maintenance contract.
Michelle, if I could just jump in quick, the bus bond, it was recommended that we amend this based on the change in the statewide school budget vote date to June 16th. So that resolution should look very familiar. It was simply, as Debbie indicated in the action piece, it was amending the date because of the change and the week delay in the statewide budget vote.
Okay.
Were there any major changes to the bus maintenance contract from last year?
None at all.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
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 Aye. This brings us to 5.1. This is the general public participation. There are people watching our meeting, which we're grateful for. So those people, if you have anything you would like to participate with, please join the chat on our YouTube video, and we will give you a couple extra minutes to make sure that you have time to type. So anybody that has any public participation can do so now. There's a decent delay between our feed and the video on YouTube. We'll also give, we've got a welcome Travis. Thank you, Morgan Larson, for welcoming Travis.
Thanks.
All right, we do have a question here. I'd like to know whether the internal task force teams can give parents an update of sorts before the school submits a reopening plan. Bill?
Yes, we plan on doing that. Yep. So after our task force gives recommendations to me as the superintendent, we'll allow some public comment period, if you will, to tweak changes to make sure we're okay. We're going to survey parents and students to get more feedback. I'm going to talk in my superintendent's report about our survey results to date, but there will be more surveys coming, and there will be more opportunity for parent and student feedback before the board has the opportunity to adopt our reopening plans, and they're submitted to the state.
Thank you, Bill. And thank you for the question. Anybody else have any other questions for us? Again, I will wait a few more minutes or seconds, maybe not minutes. All right, seeing none, we will continue with the agenda. That might go slow just in case there's somebody messaging there. I need a motion to accept the resignation of Holly Haig. I always say her name wrong, Bill. Help me out.
Ha.
Sorry, Holly, I always say your name wrong. As full-time bus driver effective June 30th, 2020, but will remain as a substitute bus driver as recommended by the business manager and superintendent.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to approve the appointment of Kevin Ellis and Michelle Spencer as the CSE and CPSE co-chairs for the 2020-2021 school year as recommended by the superintendent.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. I need a motion to increase Jonah Conley and Lisa Wynn's appointments as food service helpers from part-time 0.5 FTE to part-time 0.7 FTE as recommended by the business manager and superintendent.
I'll move.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Matt, can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, this change is really reflective of the actual hours that they are working. When we had more staff before Randy retired, that 0.5 FTE equivalence was more closely reflective of what they actually work. But now that we have less bodies, that 0.7 FTE is closer to what their actual hours are, and that's important for civil service purposes and for reporting standard work days to the retirement system. So it's more or less a true up to their appointment to what they're actually working.
Great. Thank you for that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to appoint the following as summer teacher aide bus aides as recommended by the Pupils Personnel Services, PPS, Director and Superintendent, Amanda, Bev, and Allison.
I'll move.
A second.
Discussion? Thank you to them for helping us this summer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to approve the recommendations of the CSE, CPSE. Please.
I'll move.
Move. Second.
Any discussion would be done in executive session, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Textbook first reading. I lost my spot. Sorry. Bill? Or somebody? Somebody want to take this one that knows what this book is?
Mark, I'll let you lead this discussion.
Yep, so this is the textbook that Dr. Helfont has recommended for the AP chemistry course. It comes with recommendations from other AP teachers. She just finished a AP summer coursework and has been networking with many other individuals and trying to get that curriculum solidified and ready to go for this year. So based off of her recommendation and the summaries of that book, it's presented to you.
Have we done AP Chem in the past?
No, we have not.
Okay, so this is a brand new textbook for a brand new course.
Correct.
So I thought.
And it falls under the AP curriculum. This textbook is approved by AP.
And it's got online components and all of that too, looks like. Okay. So this is the first read, right?
Yes.
Yes. A nice light read.
Yes. You're having trouble.
Thank you.
Actually, I like this.
So 6.4 is the evaluation process for the superintendent. We had planned for last year, and I wanted to see if everybody was still on board for what the plan should be this coming year, which the mid-year, and I'll share the document at some point. I don't think I can do it right now. But it's just a quick run of the timeline. The mid-year process would be September 1. We'd agree on the evaluation tool November, which actually September 1 we might be doing earlier than that, but November 6th-ish we would review and adjust this timeline if needed, like we needed to last year because of things that were happening. The end of November, we would finalize the document and discuss. We'd be done with the process in the beginning of January for the mid-year. Then the end of the year would run from April through June in the same type of fashion. And again, I'll clean up that document and share it once we've talked about it here a little bit.
Is this a place to talk about Super Eval 2, or do you want to talk about that separately?
We probably can. I mean, I put it at 7.3, but I don't think it matters where it does it, Debbie. Since it's discussion, okay.
Yeah.
So the plan right now would be that we would use Super Eval for the superintendent review. It was very helpful for all of us, I do believe, from everything we talked about. It's really seamless for Bill to be able to put things into throughout the year. It's just a really good process. So the plan would be for using it for that. I'm not in favor of extending the contract for the board self-eval. I have some plans on how we could streamline it for us, but I don't think it's worth the money for what we got out of it for that piece of it. But I'm up for hearing from you guys on that too. That's why I wanted to bring it as a discussion.
I agree. I think for the board evaluation, it was not very helpful at all for the money. I think you basically had to do behind the scenes what we could have done for free.
Right. And I'm happy to take that piece on. So Ellen, don't worry about that part of it, the board eval and the superintendent eval. Because Super Eval does the superintendent one pretty much on its own, which is great.
Yeah, that was really nice, actually.
So I don't mind doing the board eval and compiling that as a task for myself.
You had mentioned cost. What does the superintendent eval cost?
Bill, I'm turning to you because I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's in the mid 2,000 range. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it's 2,500 in that range.
No, I don't remember exactly, but if I had to guess, I would have said 2,700.
Will it be less if we're only getting the one piece instead of two pieces?
Yeah, she's gonna back out the board eval component and give us an updated contract and pricing.
Okay. Which I think is not quite going to cut it in half, but it's, I think it's going to drop a modest amount.
It will drop, right.
I seem to remember there was like a discount if you did two. So I don't know how much it'll, I don't think it's going to be significant. Are we using that also for other evals, Bill? Are you using that for any of the principal evals?
We are not. Right now, it's just the superintendent eval.
Where does that money come from? What part of the budget?
The Board of Ed's budget, right?
That's what I was thinking. I just wanted to clarify.
I mean, from if you want to get into the real nitty gritty, it's not coded to the Board of Ed line. It's under the admin budget, but I believe it's under admin and improvement.
Okay, sorry.
So, I mean, ultimately, yeah. And it was 2682 was the total renewal for all components. So
It will be less than that.
yeah.
You would think.
Super Eval and I will have a conversation if it's not.
Now, I'm the new guy, so I don't really know. Were you, the rest of you were happy with the super eval part last year?
Yeah.
So the superintendent evaluation was great.
Yeah, so it's software that helped us as a group to enter our evaluations, enter our comments, and then as a group be able to talk about the evaluations and put together the final thing. So it's really software that we talked long and hard about whether or not it was going to have any value. And I actually, the difference between using Super Eval and not using it, it was night and day. I think it was a much easier process, a much easier communication for us and Bill. So it actually allows us to enter the goals that we have set. It allows Bill to enter his data and his own self-evaluation and all of that. It really just streamlined it. It was a significant difference, a significant improvement in that process for us.
So, Ellen, you've been a part of many superintendent evaluations. Would you say that this was the best avenue
Way to go. Yeah.
Of the evaluations I have experienced, this was by far the best experience in doing evaluations. It's a tool. I mean, it's a tool.
And a lot of that compiling and stuff for the board eval falls on you, Michelle and Ellen. So if you don't think it's worth it, then I'm happy to defer to you.
I feel like I spent time doing it already. And so if I'm going to spend the time doing it, then we shouldn't be spending any of the district money. So,
but there's so much more data and so many more documents that go into the superintendent evaluation that it does make sense to stay with that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. And I think there's a way that we can kind of mimic what we had with Super Eval into a different format so that we can kind of streamline it a little bit. And I'll start to play with that shortly, and you guys can look at it and decide if I'm crazy or not. So,
when you all researched this last year, was there a competition to Super Eval worth looking at for the board portion?
I don't remember seeing any competition. It's the only tool I've seen.
Well, also part of what was appealing about that is it was available through a cross contract through BOCES, so it was BOCES aidable, which financially made more sense. Chris can speak to this a little more. As many of the services we subscribe to, there are basically three components to that quote, and there's licensing, and then there's sort of each additional module or component that you add. So, like I heard somebody say, don't expect it to be half the price of what it is, because you're still going to be paying that base licensing fee. So I think what we can do is we can share with you once we get the breakdown of the quote. It may only be a couple $100 difference to add that second module because you're still paying the licensing fees. But we can let you know the breakdown once we get that.
Okay, thank you.
And Travis, just to give you information from a superintendent standpoint, I believe it is the premier superintendent evaluation that's used throughout the state.
And you were happy with it on your end, obviously?
Yeah, it's very efficient. It's user-friendly. It allows me to upload a ton of data, and it segregates that data into different goal components in different areas that the board is going to evaluate me on. So it really, from an ease and efficiency standpoint, it's a really good system.
All right. I have a pretty good understanding of it now, so thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Mm-hmm. All right, that was a good discussion. We need to.
It was supposed to be about the timeline, though, right? And you're gonna give us.
Oh, I do want to say on the timeline. I think if we're following the same timeline as last year, then I think that's was worked out well.
It did work
Okay.
well.
I think, yeah, even with all the
Changing.
interruptions that nobody could have expected, I think we still were able to get the evaluation done, and I felt it was productive and helpful.
Good. Okay. Then I will update it with the proper actual dates of, not Saturdays or Sundays, and I will recirculate it to the team here. So, we need to set goals for the district and for the Board of Education. So we need to determine some dates that we can get together as a board and how we're going to accomplish that.
If I could just suggest a date in August, maybe mid-August for our retreat, we should have hopefully a determination on the reopening of school and what that will look like. So I think that will form a lot of our goal.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good reason to wait till August.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fine. And I would like to ask if there's any chance that we can find a room big enough that we can all be in and actually have face-to-face conversations that can flow and not trip over each other quite the way they do electronically. I think that would be beneficial. If it's not possible, it's not possible.
What about the bus garage? No, it's a serious question.
Yeah, we could do that, but I'm sure that we can find a space at Colgate as well.
We used this space at Colgate last year.
Yeah, but I could find a bigger room. That would
there's no
make
charge
us,
for that, right?
No.
Yeah.
So bus garage or Colgate, whichever we can find that would work. Does that work for everybody?
No, we're talking about this for meetings, is that?
No, just for a meeting. Just one meeting. Yeah. For our goal setting, it would be a
retreat.
It would be a retreat.
Really
so
yeah.
Just the 6 of us would meet to discuss our goals and planning for that.
Yeah.
Last year we had a facilitator. Do we need or want one? She really helped us. I don't know whether her helping us last year is enough to help us along this year or not.
I would recommend we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that's totally up to you as a board.
Do you have a recommendation for who to do it? Can the same person do it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I would certainly reach out to her to.
Okay.
Yeah, if she's around.
Yeah, she's great.
So I'd like to suggest the 12th of August. I know Travis is an evening guy. Do we want to do it?
That week of August, I'm going to be out of town.
Okay. So not the 12th of August.
Not the 12th.
See, I have to start with a suggestion so we can get to that point.
And honestly,
maybe if we push it like the following week, would that work for everyone? We
It
might have
might
a
not
better
for
idea
Ellen.
of what's going on at that point.
I was just going to say, I don't know what we can commit to.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, Ellen.
What about
Is the week earlier too early?
What about the 8th or the 9th? It's a weekend. Travis, are you around then?
I don't know. I think waiting a little longer is going to be better for knowing what's going on.
Yeah. What about early September? Would that be wiser?
I'm going to say that my best guess is that if we don't do it by the week of the 10th, and that's fine, Travis, that you're away, and I'm not complaining about that at all. I'm not going to even be able to think about it until September. So, and Jen, I think you and I are kind of in the same frenzy.
Yeah.
So first week of September, maybe, I think, is we could talk about. We're not going to be able to use space at Colgate then, but we'd be able to use the bus garage.
Well, maybe if it's in the evening, but the bus garage is still there. So are we talking like September 1?
I'm trying to look at my calendar. Hang on. September 1
throwing
was
a date.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Now, the 3rd and 4th week of August, are not good for anyone?
If things go according to plan, Colgate students will be returning to campus, and it's going to be a melee.
Okay.
It's gonna, yeah.
What about the first week of August? But no, I know, never mind. We talked about that.
September 1?
September 1, that's not the first week of school. That's before the first week of school, right?
Before the first week of school.
Why couldn't we do the first week of August?
I was wondering that too.
You said you wanted to wait till after we knew if school was going to happen.
Well, the
person or not person.
reopening plans have to be submitted by the end of July. And then the 1st through the 7th, the governor is supposed to have a determination.
Right.
So maybe the latter, maybe the weekend. Travis, when do you leave? The weekend?
I leave the 9th and return on the 14th.
Okay.
So anybody could do the 8th? Yeah. I almost gave up my anniversary. Can't do that. I can't do the 9th. But I can do the 8th.
This is leaving the 9th, so.
Right. Phew. My husband might not be happy.
Would you be okay on the 8th, Travis?
8th?
Even though it's the day right before you left?
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys working on my schedule. Thank you.
And that's if the governor holds true to his timeline.
Right. Because he's been so good at that.
Let's do
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Well, we can always move it, so let's lock in a date.
Let's do the 8th from 9 to 12.
Deal.
Are we talking morning or night here? What kind of people am I dealing
Morning.
with? Okay.
It's a Saturday morning, though.
Is that enough time?
I don't know.
We went longer, didn't we?
I mean, we went for like 6 hours last year, and I feel like that still wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm happy. I just was starting with something. We hadn't talked about timelines.
I do feel like last year felt a little bit more like starting from scratch, though.
Right.
So maybe this will be.
Yeah, but what if we say from? Let's give us more time, and we can always leave early, right?
What if you say
Right.
8 to noon?
Let's do on the 8th from 9 to 3.
That works for me.
And we'll change it if needed.
Yeah.
And if we're done, we're done,
No, you
And
have to stay.
The place is to be determined?
Yeah.
Correct. We'll find a place.
9 to 3.
Bill, does that work for you? You've been quiet.
That's fine. My only other suggestion would have been we could start Friday evening. The governor hopefully will have information released to us before Friday evening, and then we could reconvene Saturday morning. That's an alternative.
I don't know if I like you guys enough to do 2 days in a row. I'm just kidding.
That was going to be my only suggestion, but who knows when the executive order will be released on Friday. So,
right.
I mean, that situation does really lend itself to a pajama party scenario. So,
it does.
No indoor sleepovers, though.
No, if we could do that house we had for the other thing, that'd be okay. But all right, 9 to 3. Or sorry, did I say 9 to 3? Yeah.
We'll plan a lunch in there.
Yes, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Sorry, I put it in my calendar the wrong time. Okay. There we go. Debbie, you got all that? Because we went back and forth a million times. Okay, she's shaking her head. Motion to approve the district emergency response plan for 2020-2021 school year as recommended by the business manager and superintendent.
I'll move.
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I looked through it. Were there any major changes from last year?
No, none at all. And just to get you up to speed on this, Travis, if you're not familiar, this is a requirement by all school districts. Have to have a district level emergency plan, which this is a template that's most districts probably use. You can see it's very vague. Doesn't identify individual people. It's more based by positions and buildings. There's a 30-day, after you move on it tonight, there's a 30-day comment period from the general public before it's finally adopted. And then once the school year starts, by October 15th, we submit very specific, detailed building level emergency plans. So for us, elementary and secondary, they're very similar because we're K-12 building. And those are plans that are not shared publicly because they contain very specific information and could really compromise building safety if they were shared. So this is a requirement, all districts in the state to, this goes on our website, have this adopted. This sort of starts the clock for the 30-day public comment period, but you see it's very vague, and no, there are no changes from last year.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Hi.
Administrator reports are up next. So I'm going to pick Chris Rogers to go first. You're welcome for that.
Oh, well, thank you. Let's see. So the recollection of devices process is pretty much finished. And I have to say that by and large, I was really, really impressed with the care that our community took of all the devices that were loaned out.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. 99.9% of them came back in pristine condition. We do have a couple of devices that are still out, but it's really only a handful. I know where they are, and I've sent out messages to these families. And the next step will be for us to probably take a visit up there and see what's going on with some of these devices that are still left. But the devices have been all cleaned, and they are ready to be deployed again in whatever capacity they're needed. I just wanted to say, I wanted to recognize the inaugural season of the Hamilton esports team. These kids had a really great time. They were in constant communication with me, telling me how they did in their matches, and they ended up going 6-4 across the season. They took it upon themselves to design a logo for their for the Hamilton esports, and they got T-shirts and hoodies. So really proud of those guys. The phone and the camera installation process is proceeding rapidly, like all of the other building projects. We'll probably be prepared for the complete cutover of the phone system by next week. So that's really good. The cameras have slowed down some. Have slowed down some because if you've been in the building recently, you see there are no ceilings. So there's nowhere to put the remaining cameras. So we have to wait for that to be completed before the cameras are installed. I wanted to just say that the graduation that was held outside on the stadium field was an incredible experience. For everybody involved, congratulations. My aspect of it, the live streaming of it, we had 130 simultaneous streams, people watching it live. So it was really, really neat. And that's all I've got.
Great. Thank you very much.
Oh, wait, I do have one more thing. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So we've been talking as an administrative team about some of the struggles that we had during the extended closure, and one of those was that some of the information that we had to get in contact with families was outdated. So we're looking for a process to sort of update this information. We're going to be posting a form on our website where people can get onto the form and update any information that may have changed. We'll also be sending out a robocall to let people know that this is happening and where they can find this form, and also that they can call the school directly if they have no means to access our website for that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
Hello, everyone. From individual meetings with teachers and data from surveys, I believe the year ended with people, although very, very tired, happy with what we were able to accomplish under the circumstances. Material pickup and drop off was a relative success. We have a lot of students and a lot of stuff was out there. We still had a lot of stuff in the buildings. So I wanted to thank all the TAs and aides for all their work to collect materials and to distribute the materials that were in the building.
I gotta say, Mark, it was seamless on the parent side from when I went for both the pickup and the drop off. So whatever you guys did behind the scenes was, it came across really well, at least for when I went. So thank you for that.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. We still have a few unclaimed items that we'll hold on to. I imagine people will start looking for things. Secondary science and social studies and French positions have been filled, and we're very excited about the people that we were able to get. As Chris had mentioned, we had graduation. It was held on the 26th. The weather was beautiful, and I think it was a great event to close out the year for the seniors, especially with all that they've missed. And many, many thanks to the many people that came together to make it happen. And I think it turned out well. Summer school has started. We have a few students looking to gain credits through summer school. It is an online format this year. We did provide the technology necessary for those students to do the work. So we wish them the best of luck with that. And obviously, September reopening has been on all of our minds. We're trying to think of all the different scenarios that may be presented. We're trying to find what problems those scenarios will have and come up with solutions as soon as we can. A lot of unknowns, but I'm confident in the people that we have and the faculty and staff. I mean, if you look at what happened this past year and how quick people were able to, just roll up their sleeves and problem solve, very impressed with that. So I think that we're going to be ready to go come September.
Great, thank you. Heather, you're up next.
I want to say hello, and I want to express my thanks to the support that I've received from my fellow teachers and the administration and the board, parents and students. And I know we have many challenges ahead of us, but I really am excited to be working with all of you and the community. So I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here at Hamilton as a reading teacher. And I'm really excited about kind of what reiterating what Mark said, rolling up our sleeves and getting to work on the challenges ahead. So what's been happening this week, or actually the last 4 days in the elementary, is we've been really looking at a lot of the different plans from New Jersey and Connecticut and a lot of the research that Bill has forwarded, and really taking notes and trying to prepare for 3 different scenarios. I've also spent a good deal of time on the phone with teachers and really just talking with them, getting their feedback about the virtual experience, and also kind of picking their brains about some different pieces. In particular, there's a lot of specific challenges to the pre-K programs, the kindergarten programs, really our younger students. So I spent some time really digging into that because they are unique, to our building. Looked at also on my to-do list is different ways to recruit substitute teachers. So I think that's always been a huge need here at Hamilton. And I think that will continue to be a huge need. So I've done some research and I have some ideas about some different ways that we can try to have some more substitutes in our community. Let's see what else. Kevin and I have worked really closely together on developing schedules, the best that we can at this point in time. And so, that has been kind of accomplished under, one scenario. So we'll see how things go down the road. Kevin and I also went around and started to take a look at our existing space in the elementary. do some mapping out of actual dimensions, looking at some of the recommendations that have been put forth from the CDC and some other recommendations, and really trying to get an idea of what the space might look like and the challenges that we might have. So I think that has been my week so far. So again, thank you so much. And yeah, I really am excited for this year, and I'm so happy to be back at school and, moving forward. So
Great, thank you. And thanks for jumping in with both feet, because it sounds like that's what you're doing. So thank you. Kevin, you're up next.
First off, I just want to say thank you and welcome to Heather and Travis. I've worked real closely with the both of them over many years. I think Travis mentioned he's been on the school team for 5 years now. It's a privilege to have both of you where you are and being a part of our team, and I look forward to working with both of you. So welcome. A lot of what I've been doing is preparing for next year, working with Heather on schedules. Heather mentioned, mapping out the classrooms and looking at social distancing just to see what's possible in each one of the classrooms. One of the things that we learned was that our classrooms are not the same size. I mean, there's something you always kind of had in the back of your mind, but until you got down there and mapped it out, some of our rooms are considerably smaller than the other rooms. And when you map things out, with 6 foot distancing, you can see that we're going to definitely have some challenges in maintaining social distancing in some of our rooms. So we're really trying to brainstorm ideas about how we're going to be able to do that. And we've got some plans, and we look forward to working with the teams on mapping that out. I've been working, a big part of this week has been moving my office from an office twice the size as the one I have now. I have 13 years of experience in files and folders that I've kind of dwindled down to a bit, and I've got my office set up good. But I've also been working on setting up related services for students through summer school and through BOCES. We've got a few new referrals, some new students that are coming into the district. Working with some of the teachers on the summer curriculum projects as they pertain to special education and social emotional learning, and schedules for aides. We've been busy.
Great, thank you so much, Kevin. That brings us to Bill. Bill, your update?
Sure. So a couple of things. As Kevin just alluded to, we'd like to welcome Heather to our team. We're really excited to have her and the vision she's going to bring in her perspective. She's made immediate impact. We had a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, and the ideas and her ability to mend in with us immediately is going to be terrific. And Travis, thank you. We welcome you. We're excited to have you on our team and to lead our district as we move forward in these challenging times. So welcome to both of you. Most of our time, as everyone has alluded to, has been on brainstorming and looking at scenarios for reopening. I sent out correspondence yesterday to our families with a timeline that the governor has now put out. July 13th, we're supposed to have some guidance from state ed and from the governor's office on what a reopening might look like. July 31st, districts must submit our reopening plans to state ed for approval. And then August 1st through the 7th, the decision by the governor through an executive order on reopening. And we're looking at 3 models, primarily bringing kids back to school as normal in September with social distancing, with masking, with disinfecting and cleaning procedures and policies put in place. That would be one scenario. Scenario 2 would be buildings would reopen, but in a hybrid model. So it would be a blend of both remote and in-person learning. And then the third option would be remote learning. The school buildings would remain closed, and we'd go back to a virtual learning model. So those are the three scenarios that we are exploring, that we're preparing for, and we will be ready to submit to state ed when that time comes. And there are so many scenarios for each of those models that are going to take detailed planning, and we have task force set up that we will be meeting with on the 14th for both the elementary and secondary. We have 4 different teams: elementary team for facilities and infrastructure, and the other team for curriculum assessment and scheduling. And those will be led by Kevin and Heather in the elementary. And then the secondary, Mark has a team for curriculum assessment and scheduling, and then another team for facilities. So those task force will be looking at every scenario and every detail that goes into each of those scenarios to submit plans to me, which then I will submit to the public for comment, and then ultimately we will have a plan to submit to you as the board to submit to the state for approval. So,
Bill,
yes.
are we going to need to have a special meeting in order to do that?
We may have to, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's been a lot of our time, and we are looking at every scenario. We're looking at outdoor spaces, the possibility of renting tents to put outside, that classes can then be outside as much as possible, because reading through a lot of the recommendations, if you can be outside and socially distance, that is a recommendation. So we are looking at our outdoor spaces. We are looking at our indoor spaces. We are looking at infrastructure as far as airflow through the capital project. We are looking at using our gymnasiums as learning spaces and moving our phys ed classes to an outside model. So that's some of the brainstorming that has started already, and obviously the task force will dive much deeper into all those scenarios. So that has taken a majority of our time, and will continue to take our time until a decision is made whether we can open and what that scenario will look like. I alluded to survey results. We had put out 3 separate surveys about 2 weeks ago, one for students, one for parents, and one for faculty and staff, to get some feedback on our virtual learning plan and what we did well. What are some suggestions that we can do moving forward if we're in a virtual learning plan? What would remote learning look like? What would in-person learning look like? And to date, we have 40 teacher responses, we have 183 parent responses, and we have 47 student responses. So we're starting to aggregate that data, and once we have that process complete, we'll give that data to our task force teams, and that'll be used in their decision-making process. I will also share the aggregate data with you as a board, so you have that information. So when you get our recommendations, you'll have a background knowledge as to why. But some of the comments have been extremely helpful, extremely useful, and very informative. So those are very good data points, and we'll be sending out more surveys to our community, parents and students and faculty, as we move through this process. The third topic I would like to share with you, I'm going to present my screen. Just bear with me. Does everybody have the update of the capital project?
Yep.
So as we talk, and Corey and I had a tour this afternoon, so he has a visual. And again, I would invite any board member who would like to come in and take a tour of the building. Unfortunately, tours are not available to the public right now. So I will give this update as to where we are with our project. It's moving along beautifully. Our roofing is at 50%. Our exterior unit masonry is at 90% completion. Our HVAC ductwork is at 95% completion. So from the time we last spoke in our last board meeting, when I presented some major accomplishments that have been accomplished, the ceiling demo in all the classrooms and corridors is complete. The floor patching where cabinets and old steam heat is complete. Pipe installation in the crawl space is now complete. The installation of the boiler supply and return lines in all the crawl spaces are complete. Thermostats and AC lines and units have been installed. Conduit has been installed in the crawl space. All the wires pulled, panels have been installed. Conduit and wire for the lighting in the classrooms and corridors is now complete. So based on that period of work, we have nothing that is behind schedule. We have had some change orders that we have worked through based on architect recommendations and our construction manager's recommendations. The next period planned activities, finished tube insulation in the classrooms and offices. That's at 80% and will continue. The steel frame openings for the HVAC equipment at the roof is 90% complete. New ceilings in the second floor classrooms are at 75% complete. Ductwork and pipe insulation is at 40% complete. Exterior louver openings and masonry infill up on the roof and outside the building is 75% complete and will continue. The new ceiling lighting in the second floor classrooms is scheduled to begin next week. And the boiler room equipment installation is at 40%. And there are no major decisions for this reporting period that need to be addressed at this time. So the building project is moving along. We are extremely pleased with our contractors. We're extremely pleased with our construction manager and the work being done.
Great.
And that's my report. You're welcome.
And thanks to them for being out there on today. I was telling Corey today, they were the only ones not complaining about the heat. They love it. And they are just getting it done. They are. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, great. It's great.
Well, apparently I forgot that Matt was here today because I didn't invite him to the meeting, nor did I ask him for his administrative report. But since you just gave his report, Bill.
Well, I think he may have something to add.
I know. Just harassing him a little bit because I apparently have not paid attention to Matt today. So, Matt, it's your turn.
I'm going to talk for a real long time now.
Deal.
Quick story though, with regard to the capital project. Yesterday, with the downpour of rain that we had in the afternoon, it was shortly after the roofing crew had left. And it was sort of a nice reminder and validation of the work that we're doing. We had a couple leaks that sprung in the elementary wing of the building, and I went to Tim, who's the construction manager, and I said, please tell me the elementary is the part of the roof that they haven't gotten to yet. So, they did not get there yet, and the part that they have done work on, we had no leaks yesterday, but
that's great.
That'll be nice when we're done with that for good. So, with regard to the building project too, it really has, in a way, it's been a bit of a blessing because I think it has kept people away from the building. With school closing, it's allowed us to get ahead of schedule. But it's also been a challenge. I mean, it's displaced people for periods of time. Certain spaces that are utilized to do certain things at end of year or in the summer have changed. So my hat's off to our faculty, our staff, all of those at the district office, and also those that come, the mail delivery, the UPS, things like that. Everything's sort of, every day it's different and access is different. So we're figuring it out. Takes a lot of teamwork, a lot of unknowns at this point, but it's been a real team effort. I thought maybe Michelle skipped me. I thought maybe she has knowledge of the email that Bill and I got today at 4:15. We've been notified by the Office of the State Comptroller that we will be audited in the near future. and this is typical. All school districts and municipalities are audited on a cyclical basis. Our last audit was in 2016, so we are about due. We will likely have a kickoff meeting and an introductory meeting sometime in early August. And generally what happens is they will start by looking at just internal controls and overall financials. And if they don't find anything, they'll eventually hone in on something. In 2016, they focused on our cafeteria operations. So we're all on notice. Everybody's prepared. We will cooperate. It will be different this year. Most of it will be done remotely. They've already informed us of that. So ultimately, it'll probably be several weeks of field work and meetings, and then usually it takes a considerable amount of time for them to provide a final report, and then we have to do corresponding corrective action. So we did get that news today. But other than that, it's just like Bill said and everybody else said, it's waiting to see what things are going to be like 3, 6, 9 weeks from now and moving forward. So everybody's sort of waiting. And again, I share Mark's optimism and confidence in the team that we have, both here in front of us now, the task forces that are going to meet next week, and then really students, parents, all those that are going to be involved. So we're going to figure this out. I mean, like Mark said, we did it in the spring. We're going to do it now. So that's about it for me.
Thank you. And what if I just say we saved the best for last?
Perfect.
Does that take me out of the hole there? Sorry, Travis, go ahead.
Sure.
Matt, if we're going to be audited this year, how will the audit committee come into play?
Well, our Board of Education is the audit committee. So, it'll be reported to the board, and it's also shared publicly through the comptroller's office. So we're also preparing for our annual independent audit. They'll be in the district for field work at the end of this month and into early August. And then in the fall, that'll be presented to you, the board. Generally, it's the October board meeting. We meet for a half hour, an hour before the board meeting. We have to do that by October 15th. So you will certainly be in the loop.
Great.
That's a bonus. Board member, you get to be on the audit committee too.
Yeah, well, I was reading the policy and it said a member and members of the community, so I wasn't quite sure.
We used to have a standalone audit committee, but we really lost interest and we had a hard time getting people to volunteer to do that. So in recent history, we've used the board as our audit committee.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to interrupt for a second.
Yes, please.
So Bill just knocked on my door. And if you notice, he's frozen. So he's trying to log back on right now.
So we'll wait a minute for him. And while we wait for Bill, I'll let the public know that next up will be public comment. So get your comments ready if you have any. You can start to type them in now, and we'll just wait till Bill's unfrozen before we move to that section. But this gives you a couple seconds to get ready for your public comments.
Thanks, Mark. I thought I'd put him to sleep.
I'm just happy it wasn't a rigor mortis.
Oh, he's getting there. We do have some comments, so we'll read those once Bill's completely on. Maybe. Bill, can you hear us? We can't see you, but can you hear us? Technical difficulties.
I wish
Killing
I
us
was
here
there.
today. I know.
Chris, I was just going to ask if you had some magic superpower.
Well, I could help him, except I'm broadcasting right now.
Can they stay 6 feet apart in Mark's office?
They could put masks on.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody should like sing a song or something.
I know. Mark, how's he doing?
You're the performer, Chris.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. That's just what I said.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Bill. Now it looks like Mark's freezing.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
You're fine.
All right. So we do have a public comments. And forgive me if I state anything wrong as I'm reading the public comment. I'm happy to hear about the work Heather and others have done towards measuring classrooms and planning. Also, happy to hear the acknowledgement that there's room for improvement at the lower levels. I would first like, sorry, I was trying to scroll. I would add first grade to the list given my own and my neighbors' experiences. I know that others have already written to Bill expressing their strong desire to see the schools open for this fall. For the sake of equality, I would like to second that. Moreover, there's evidence, albeit inconclusive. The kids are not super transmitters. The online portion of my own kids' education this spring failed in many respects. Friends in New York City explained that their children had 60 minutes or more of small group online sessions each day. My own only got 30 minutes per week, together with all 24 kids in each of their classrooms. Hold on, I'm scrolling again. There's more to say, and I never received a survey that was sent out, but I think it's important that we be in person and that at the same time, real steps are taken to improve the quality of the online portion should it come to that. Thanks for all your work. So I saw Heather shaking her head, so received that information since it was focused mainly on elementary. Thank you for that comment and for writing in. I appreciate it.
Do we have an email address? Is there somebody could email if they want to participate in that survey? Is that still possible?
Yes, the survey has not been turned off. So, yeah, I can send this survey out to anyone.
Can you put it in, Chris, can you put a link or an email address into the chat?
Yeah. Just give
Thanks.
me a sec.
Yep.
So I just like to address that exactly. That is what our focus is on at this point in time is really taking a look at the virtual component, should that be the case, as well as the in-person. So, I do appreciate those comments because I think both of those focuses are, very much at the forefront of what we're looking at right now. So we are looking at both of them equally right now.
Great. Thank you so much. Do we have any other comments? We'll wait a second to see. Thank you to all of those of you that are watching tonight. We appreciate your time. With that, I will move. I need a motion to adjourn to executive session. The board will discuss matters regarding to the employment of a particular individual. There will be no voting on this matter. It's just a discussion item. So a motion, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Travis? Aye. Okay, he's on mute, but I saw the aye.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Good reading.
Aye.
So we thank all the administrators. Chris, you can shut the feed off. And Bill, you can work at rejoining.
Yep, I'm going to go back and try to